Hello friends, Mandar here. I'm back with another video. Today we'll talk about the H1b fraud. You might have seen a lot of videos on H1b fraud and read a lot of news online as well. I want to give you my perspective, some of the tips that are useful for the beneficiaries who are at risk of getting investigated. The second topic I wanted to cover is there anything that you can do to expedite your pending AP or EAD application? And lastly, I will cover the bipartisan America's Children Act that has again come back to the House. So lots of important topics. Watch this video until the end and let's get started. If you are here for the first time, welcome. My name is Mandar and I make immigration and lifestyle related videos for US and Canada. I'm not an immigration lawyer, so anything that I say on this video or on my channel is for information purpose only. And for your specific immigration needs, before you take any action, you should hire a competent immigration lawyer. Check out the links in the description because those are affiliate links. You will get some discount if you click through those, and it will also support the channel. And while you are down there, do hit the like button because that will greatly help the channel. Now, as you know, the H1B is a visa that is given to temporary high-skilled immigration labor. So US needs a lot of these labor workforce, which is high-skilled immigrants. They need a lot of those, not just in the Silicon Valley, but also in the rest of the corporate America. So H1B visa is given to about 65,000 general applicants and 20,000 graduates from the United States. So total 85,000 visas are given out every year. Now the interesting thing about how these visas are given is it is a lottery, literally a lottery that is run every year. It has the aspect of selecting the right candidates that have specialized occupational skills, but mostly the first cut that is done is purely lottery. But this year what has happened is because of the computerized drawing of this lottery or selection process, it has caused a lot of fraudulent applications to be selected in the system. Now it is said that they actually received 780,000 applications for just 85,000 visas that are available. This number is almost double since year over year. And why did this happen? Because they oversimplified the process. They have created this new two-step process in the last couple of years where they allow applicants to file an H1B through any employer with just a basic fee of $10. And then the problem is it doesn't stop you from applying multiple times through the same employer or from different employer. Now this has always been known that it could be misused, but this year it really reached the limits. USCIS came out and said that there are fraudulent applicants of over 400,000. They only selected about 110K from the 800,000 applications that were submitted. Their investigation revealed that the number of applicants that have submitted multiple applications are about 400,000 or over 400,000. There are some applicants that submitted their application over 15 to 20 times. Now it is a common sense that nobody can have 18 or 19 job offers at the same time. You hardly can even find one job or two or three at the most if you are exceptionally talented and you have exceptionally rare skill set. It is possible that you could have 3 offers at the same time, but definitely not 5 or 10 or 15. That is utter fraud. So people have knowingly done this fraud this year, and not just applicants but also the companies who have fraudulently accepted these fees from all these individuals and submitted their filings on non-existent offer. So that's what has been revealed. So USCIS has openly come out and said that there has fraud that has occurred in this year's lottery system. They have also published the list of companies that have committed this fraud. And not only that, they have started investigating these companies, these fraudulent companies. Now I'm not too worried about those companies because they have made their money and they will suffer their consequences. What I'm talking about is the applicants who have misrepresented themselves, in the sense that they have misrepresented that they had multiple job offers and submitted multiple petitions. Now some of them could be legitimate from the 110K that they have selected, but my fear is there could be a vast majority even from those selected petitions that are fraudulent, that may turn out to be fraudulent in the upcoming days. So even from these 110K applications that are approved or selected in the first version of lottery, I suspect that there will be lot of fraudulent applications that will be caught or eventually be denied even after getting approved. Now the biggest thing I wanted to emphasize is misrepresentation. In the immigration world, especially in the United States, you do not misrepresent, because if you get caught, you could cost lifelong availability of visa. And doesn't matter which visa you apply in the future, this misrepresentation will be a dark spot on your file, and that will come back to haunt you. So do whatever, don't misrepresent. Now I want to cover a couple of scenarios. There could be situations where a candidate is so exceptionally qualified that they legitimately got 2 or 3 offers. In that case, if their H1B was picked any one of those companies and if the offer was legitimate, then you probably don't have much to worry about. There might be an investigation that would happen because you had multiple petitions, but in this case you might be good because you had knowingly filed legitimate applications. Now there is another scenario where you had filed multiple petitions. You had one job offer through which you filed a petition, and then you filed another 2 which you did not actually have the job offer. So you just paid some employer to file your H1B, and your application actually gets approved or selected in the first lottery, not through the legitimate job offer, but from the one that you did not have an offer. Now a couple of people have contacted me in this situation, and I tell them one thing. First thing you do is try to establish the legitimacy of that second application that eventually got approved or picked up in the first lottery. You want to work with that employer and see if you can get a legitimate job offer to continue with your full application. The last thing you want to do is just submit a fraudulent application without having a legitimate job offer, because that will get investigated and that will not be good, especially for the beginning of your immigration journey in the United States. You don't want to start your immigration journey on a wrong foot, because that kind of continues with you throughout your H1B and green card process, eventually even up to citizenship. So if you had multiple petitions and your petition gets picked up or selected through a job that was not legitimate, try to work with the employer to see if that can be a legitimate job offer. If not, just stay quiet and don't submit an application. You have other ways to continue to stay in the United States: change of status to B1, B2 visa, or going into a student visa. So another thing is, if you got defrauded by one of these fraudulent companies in submitting your H1B petition and not getting approved, you could even report them to the USCIS. You should take a corrective action in order to improve your situation and establish a rapport with USCIS in case you get investigated in this fraudulent situation. So take these tips into account if you are impacted by this situation. Remember, USCIS is not only investigating these fraudulent companies but also the beneficiaries, and that is actually the sad part, because in many of these cases these applicants may not have known about the risks or consequences, and these companies have taken predatory actions against you in defrauding you. Now next topic I wanted to cover is expediting your EAD or AP. So say for instance you have an H4 EAD or you have a green card EAD, and now as you know, nowadays it's taking way too longer for a simple EAD or AP petition, even for renewal of the petition. So if you are working on EAD, purely on EAD and on adjustment of status, you really don't have to worry about your status situation. So if you are on green card EAD, you don't have to worry about your status, because your status has been provided by pending adjustment of status, that is pending I-485. But you do need to worry about your work authorization, because your work authorization, unless you have a H1B or L1, you are on EAD and you are using your EAD. So if your EAD expires, you need to make sure that you apply for your extension at least 6 months before its expiry date. Now sometimes the renewal can take beyond 6 months, it can take 8 to 10 months even, and in that case you don't need to worry about an extension, because you have automatic EAD extension even if you don't have your renewal in a hand. At this point of time I think it's 6 months of extension, and some other EAD categories it's 540 days. So it's a long extension, automatic extension, provided you have applied for your extension or renewal of your EAD. Now AP is a different situation. Now advanced payroll you need only when you travel outside of the United States. So say for instance your advanced payroll card has been is about to expire and you have applied for extension and you have a sudden need to travel outside of the United States. In this case, as long as your current advanced payroll card is valid, you can travel. It has to be valid at the time of re-entry. But if it's not valid, then you will have to wait until you get your renewal advance payroll card in order to use it at your re-entry. Now there are ways to expedite your EAD or advanced payroll application if you have certain situations. There is a specific website address from the USCIS. I'll put it on the screen. You can click on there and you can apply for expediting your petition. It could be a EAD or AP petition, and it will be based on some compelling circumstances. In this case, it has to be life-threatening. It has to be something that is going to cause you hardships in terms of financials, or in terms of health, or in terms of caretaking of somebody near and dear. Working with your lawyer, you can submit that petition to expedite your EAD or AP application. So that is possible. A lot of people have come to me with this question, so I thought I will cover it. And the last point I want to cover in this video is the documented dreamers. And before you go away, if you are old school, just carrying cash around for all your expenses, check out these awesome, sleek, minimalistic wallets from Esker. Now Esker sent me these wallets just recently. I just wanted to show you. Now this one is a nice leather wallet. It's a minimalistic look. It has a button at the bottom which you press and pop out all the cards that you like. This is a very good wallet that I use on a daily basis. I have a bunch of them. So that's one. The quality is premium and you can feel it. There is this another one which is metallic. It's also similar to the leather one, but this one has a tracker on the back side. You can use your phone to track this wallet as long as it's attached to the back of the card. Similar mechanism, you can pull all your cards with the press of a button, and this is very, very minimalistic. All these wallets are made from high quality material, so you might want to check those links in the description to get some discount. They also have a compact tracker, and they have also included some batteries with it. And finally, there is a key case which is also of a premium leather quality. By the way, I will be giving away the leather wallet to the lucky winner, which I will be picking up from the first 50 people who will be commenting on this video. Now remember, I covered this topic multiple times in my channel. There are children who have come to the United States legally with their parents. So say for instance, a young couple comes from India to United States and they bring along their toddler or very young child to the United States. Now their parents are working, they are on the valid work visa, so they are authorized to stay in the United States, and then this child is on the dependent visa, and this child has remained in the United States on a dependent visa or a valid status throughout their life. They have never broken any law, they have never been undocumented. It just so happens now that they are turning 21. And even if they are on their parents' petition for their green card application, at the turn of 21 years of age, you no longer are eligible in most circumstances to stay on their petition. Now there is a Child Status Protection Act that allows you to lock in your age for the purpose of immigration and for the purpose of staying on your parents' petition to get your green card. But in other case, you may age out. Now this has been a big problem because people from India and basically children from India or backlog countries have a very long wait to get their green cards, and in that process they turn 21 and then that becomes a problem because they can no longer stay on their parents' petition, neither they can be a dependent on their non-immigrant visa. So they have to find their own visa in order to stay in the country, and that process can be very difficult. In some cases, they may have to self-deport themselves in order to comply with the law. So there are hundreds of thousands of children who have come in this country at the young age and who have aged out, and they are facing self-deportation. Now they may have studied here, they may have become lawyers, doctors, engineers and so on, but they still don't have a valid status in the United States, and that is really a sad situation. Now Congresswoman Deborah Ross has been supporting this cause, and she has brought back a bill that was brought back in 2022. It's called America's Children Act. This is a bipartisan American Children Act, and what it does is, if the children were brought to the United States when they were young with their parents on a visa or a dependent visa, and then since then if the children have lawfully maintained their status for at least 10 years, and if they have graduated from a US university, then they would qualify for extension, and then they would qualify for a pathway to permanent residency. So that's what this bill proposes. Now this was brought in last year, it did not go anywhere. Now Congresswoman Deborah Ross is bringing this back to the House floor, Unlike the other bills, this bill has bipartisan support. So not all of the congressmen from either parties are supporting this, but many are. And same goes in the Senate. Senate also has a version of this bill that is bipartisan. So I have big hopes on this bill that this will pass, and this will bring a lot of relief to a lot of students or children who have aged out from these backlog countries. So let's see what happens. I'll keep an eye on this bill, where it goes, whether it passes in the House and in the Senate, and if it does, it will be a great news. Hit the subscribe button and that bell notification so that you know when I drop next video on this topic. So that's all I wanted to say in this video. If you like the content of this video, do hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one.